So 5 signs or 5 red flags that you are working with a trash flight instructor. Now let me start off by saying that a good portion of flight instructors out there are just total trash. They're no good at it. And the reason for that may be that they became a pilot, it was super expensive to do, then they become a flight instructor to build hours so they can apply for other jobs. And along the way, maybe they got comfortable, they made a family, and the prospect of going to airlines is now unappealing, or they're just comfortable and they don't want to be on the road so much, so they kind of just settle for flight instructing. So their heart's not really in it, and as a consequence, they are just not good at it. As a student, you need to protect your money, and when you're paying for something, you need to make sure that you're getting value for it. So these are 5 red flags with regards to seeking out or pinpointing a trash flight instructor. So the first red flag is the instructor is not following the syllabus that the school offers. Now this is sort of like a double-edged sword. It can go either way. If an instructor isn't following the syllabus, this can be to your hurt or to your benefit. With some syllabuses that schools offer, they're just a money grab. They will beat a certain topic to death, just trying to get more money from the student. So sometimes when an instructor doesn't follow the syllabus, in the long run, it is to the student's benefit. They will save the student money and it'll become more effective. Now on the other hand though, if a instructor deviates from the syllabus or just totally doesn't follow it, you might have a maverick on your hands with regards to they just do whatever they want to do, and they probably aren't thinking it through with regards to the training that they're offering you. They're sort of just ad hocing it or making it up as they go, which is not a good sign. Probably means that you're going to end up spending more money because there'll be no logical flow in your training and you'll end up repeating a lot of stuff. If they're not following the syllabus, really look at, is it to your benefit? If it's not to your benefit, then maybe you need to make a decision with regards to getting a new instructor. Red flag number 2 is the instructor is constantly late. This for me personally is a huge pet peeve. If an instructor is constantly late, it just shows that they don't value the process of education and they're not respecting you as a student and making the effort to be on time. Red flag number 3 is you aren't learning anything. So if you find that a few weeks have gone by and you don't really know what the heck is going on, it might be time to get a new instructor. For me personally, I've sat in on a lot of ground briefings from various instructors, from low experience, low rated instructors to really high rated instructors, very veteran sort of, and there is no correlation, I've noticed. You can have old guys with the highest instructor rating and be total trash. I'll be sitting there and during a briefing that they're offering and I don't know what the hell is going on myself. So that's probably not a good sign. If you do find yourself not learning a lot, it might be the instructor. It might be time to move on and get yourself a new instructor. Red flag number 4 is they don't offer you critiques. This is actually one that's hard to point out because a lot of the times the alternative is that the whole time they just say you're doing great or you're really catching on or you're a really good pilot. And I promise you that if you are doing your private license or your commercial license, you're not a good pilot. You might be doing well for where you are in your training, but if they're just giving you constant praise that you're just like the best thing out there, it's a lie. You're not a good pilot and you probably won't be a good pilot for a while. So you need an instructor that offers you critique to progress. If they're not offering you critique, they're just sort of offering you praise all the time, they're probably just trying to make you feel good so you book another session with them so they can take more of your money. There's also a flip side to this. If an instructor offers critique that's not valuable. So what I mean is that let's say you're doing something a certain way and it works and it's acceptable, but it's not the way they would do it and they're offering critique on technique. That's sort of a sign of a pilot that's just sort of stuck in their ways and maybe not being objective in their critiques. And also that's not a great thing. So if the critiques are not there or they're just not appropriate, then it might be a sign of a trash instructor, at which point you should consider moving on and requesting a new instructor. Just a quick pause before we continue on. I'm just going to quickly push or sponsor my own videos. If you didn't know, we do have a playlist for aircraft systems. Please check it out. We worked really hard on it and I would appreciate it if you went through and watched the videos, and I think you'll learn a lot. So link in the description for the playlist for aircraft systems. Point number 5, the last red flag I have for you with regards to do you have a trash instructor or not, is overcharging. So the way it usually works is the flight is charged based on the Hobbs meter or flight time, whatever it is. And then the ground portion is sort of charged with how long they were briefing for. Now, if they're charging you 0.4 on the ground and they spend most of the time just small talking and really not teaching, they're overcharging you. So they're just money grabbing at that point. There is no way to address this. So if they are overcharging you with regards to ground briefings and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't put up with it and just request a new instructor. With regards to requesting a new instructor, the way I would go about that is maybe sending an email to the chief flight instructor. Now, if it just so happened that your instructor is the chief flight instructor, that's a little bit more of a corner that you have to deal with. But I would still email the chief flight instructor, even though they are your instructor, saying that you feel that the pairing of student-instructor is not good and you're not learning and you request an instructor change. That being said though, a lot of the times with regards to instructor deficiencies or apparent instructor deficiencies, it might be just a mirror off the student. So what I mean by that, a lot of the times for me personally, where I was working with a student that was super well prepared, they would show up to my briefings really knowing their stuff. Yeah, I'm super motivated to help them because they're obviously invested in their training, they're trying, so I'm gonna go above and beyond and try. And the inverse was also correct. If I would have a student show up to my briefing and they were not prepared, sometimes I wouldn't even go along with the briefing. I would just say, we're counseling, you're not prepared, see you later. Or sometimes I would just push through to get it done, but it's not gonna be great. So if you're not prepared, don't expect magic from the instructor. The instructor's job is there to help you along with your training, but you also need to help yourself. So if you haven't read the manual and you show up to the briefing and you don't know the subject matter or you're not ready to brief, what do you expect? What is it that you expect from the instructor? So it's also important that you are well prepared for your briefings. That's all I have for you on this video, 5 red flags for trash instructors. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.